It's Tuesday the 14th of December, although today is going to extend across until tomorrow. There'll be an extended sitting with quite a lot of legislation as Parliament tries to get rid of some stuff before Christmas. But we start off as normal with oral questions. Duncan Webb to the Minister of Finance about recent reports in the economy. Christopher Luxon to the Prime Minister about whether she stands by all her government statements and actions. Rawiri Waititi with the same question to the Prime Minister. Barbara Edmonds to the Minister of Housing about housing in Puarua. Simon Bridges to the Minister of Finance about inflation and interest rates. Dr Tracy McClellan to the Minister for COVID-19 response on progress on the COVID program. Chris Bishop to the Minister for COVID response about people coming from Australia who are double vaxxed. Tamati Coffey to the Minister of Tourism about freedom camping. David Seymour to the Prime Minister about checkpoints in Northland. Nicola Willis to the Minister of Police around violence in emergency accommodation. Ingrid Leary to the Minister of Transport about regional New Zealand transport projects. And Eugenie Sage to the Minister for Oceans and Fisheries about the impacts of bottom trawling in New Zealand waters. We'll then have a motion to extend the sitting, followed by the Maniapoto Claim Settlement Bill first reading in the name of Andrew Little. The Resource Management Enabling Housing Supply and Other Matters Amendment Bill. This is in the third reading in the name of David Parker. The Sexual Violence Legislation Bill, third reading in the name of Chris Farfoy. Then there's going to be a special debate, which is really the end of the estimates debates, which were deferred in the name of Chris it was the 47 minutes remaining, and there'll be the Minister of Agriculture and the Minister of Local Government will be in the chair for those short debates. The Accident Compensation Maternal Birth Injury and Other Matters Amendment Bill, first reading from Carmel Sepuloni. The Education and Training Amendment Bill, first reading from Chris Hipkins. The continuation of the Oranga Tamariki Amendment Bill, first reading. The first reading of the Security Information Proceedings Legislation Bill. And then there will be the Gambling Reinstating COVID-19 Modification Amendment Bill, all stages in the name of the Honourable Jan Tinetti. That's a really interesting one. It was one where it went through Parliament, a gambling bill, but unfortunately in the couple of days it took to get the royal assent, there were a number of lotteries for worthy organisations were temporarily illegal, the online ones, and this is a very quick bill to tidy up the gap between when a bill goes through Parliament and when the Governor-General signs it. It's a bit of a lesson to us about doing things in a hurry. So Parliament will probably run through it at about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and I'll see you here again at 2 tomorrow.